Hey guys, I was listening to Dan Bongino a little while ago, and he said something that's absolutely the truth. This crowd out here they're getting bad. And, what Peter Fonda just said about Melania and Trump's son, oh boy. That guy needs to be arrested. He absolutely needs to be arrested. And you got these snowflakes out here, kids, that's never, ever been in a situation in their life where they didn't have something to fall back on to protect them. They get out here and protest and holler and stuff, and they've got the cops there to break it up. Or I'll give you an instance. I got into a fight several years ago, and it was instigated. I was poked too many times and beat snot out of the fella. Next thing he knows, he calls the cops. Another instance that was a deadly instance, and the only thing that stopped it was the guy run. He got to the point that it was going to end, and it was going to end badly for him. He run my baby off the road down here in Baileyton. And I think I've told this story a couple times. Got out of the car, I was behind her on a motorcycle, she was by herself. He was trying to get her to hit him in the rear end. And she ran off the road, and when she did, she came out of the car. You got a 100-pound sack of dynamite coming out of a car getting ready to climb a tree. And she'd have done it, and she was doing it by the time I got there. The guy dropped back to hit her. He done had his fist cocked back. He was getting ready to waylay her, and she was right up on him. And I waylaid him, laid him over the trunk of the car, and got upon his head and started pounding it. Fought him. He started trying to get into his car, and I fought him into his car and had him bent over the passenger seat and was pounding that head for him. And he had happened to, the car was still running, and he threw it down in gear and put his foot on the gas and started going down the road just getting it. Me pounding that head for him. I just stepped out of the car, and he kept on going. Well, he got down the road a little ways. He stops the car, and he comes out with a machete. And my baby had done pulled up to me. We'd went down the road a ways, and she'd got in her car and come up beside of me. And he's coming at me. This is a situation right here. There's nobody going to step in between us and end this. I was going to have to end this. I was the one that was going to have to stop this. No cops. Nobody out there hollering, break it up. Nobody getting in the middle of it. This was what's going to happen to these folks out here protesting and doing what they're doing. It's going to come down to this. And this is a part of violence that they haven't seen. The guy come at me, I reached in the car and got my gun. He'd kept coming, I'd killed him. And he knew it. If I hadn't had that gun, he'd come at me and probably killed me. Now, these people out here are poking and agitating, and all they've known is safe violence. Protected violence is what Dan Bongino called it. They're protected from it. They got their safe spaces, they got their little crayons and all this other stuff. You make them mad, they start screaming, they go to the media, and pretty soon, and you're going to get a hold of the wrong person. And somebody that is as hard as steel, that's had a life rougher than mine, and that'd be a pretty rough life. Somebody that's been put in positions to where there's no out of it. You're going to have to end this. You're going to have to finish this. You're going to have to be the one to stop this. They ain't never been put in that position. They ain't went up against men that have been in that position, men who's had their hind ends whooped, that knows what that's like. I mean, that's fear, fellas. Even in the military, most combat veterans will tell you that's fear, and they have to deal with it. I mean, they have to operate right through that fear, and they go on and they know that they're going to have to get that guy before they get got. And that's what it's coming down to. They're prodding, they're poking. They've got a cage door set up between them that they can reach in and poke, and pretty soon that cage door is going to come up, and there's not going to be a thing in between them and that, whoever it is. Now, I've even heard some conservatives talk this way. Hey, listen, you all seen some of these posts I put on here. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see this happen. I do not want to see a confrontation like this happen, because it'll break out in war. There's not a good thing about war. There's nothing glorious about war. There's nothing spectacular about war. It's all death, destruction, more death, more destruction, starvation, disease. Guys, I'm asking you people on the left, you Democrats, and most all of you probably ain't never held a job in your life. You're used to getting up in somebody's faces and they confront you, and then you call the cops on them. Pretty soon this ain't going to happen. Pretty soon you're going to have to face it. And you're going to get rolled over like a steamroller. Now you take folks like myself. I'm an old man. I'm old. My body's old. I've got the spirit of a young man, but my body is broke down. It's old. I carry a gun with me everywhere I go. I've got one right here. I sit out in my front yard with a gun. And I will never in my life ever be put into a position again where I cannot defend myself. I've been there once. I will never be in a position where my family's going to be harmed because I couldn't defend them. I've been in, just not too long ago, just a few years ago, I was in a position down in downtown Kingsport, and the guy happened to back off. He absolutely, I wasn't going to back up, I wasn't going to run. He knowed it. He kept inching toward me, but he kept his distance, and I kept my eye on him. If he'd have broke that barrier, I'd have shot him. If he'd have got within 10 feet of me, and he knew it, if he'd have got within 10 feet of me, I'd have dropped my gun and shot him. Now, I can sit there and take somebody yelling and screaming and cussing, but the minute my life is threatened, or my wife's life's threatened, or my son, or my grandchildren, or my daughter, whoever, if you threaten them, I will respond with deadly force. I'm not going to let it escalate to the point that where their lives are going to be in danger, or mine. I'm not going to take another butt whooping again. I'm not going to be a 20-year-old man or a 25-year-old man working out, taking these mixed martial arts, and I took them. I've been into that stuff, and I can fight, or used to. I can't no more. I'm not able to. I mean, you let one of these people get a hold of you, they're going to beat you into the ground, and there ain't no tapping out on this stuff, folks. It ain't no saying I quit. Stop pounding on my head. And that's what the left is doing. The left thinks they can keep on doing this crap and they can tap out, and we're going to quit pretty soon. Pretty soon. This ain't going to happen. Pretty soon that cage door is coming up. And there ain't going to be no bars in between them and a grizzly bear. And you keep poking that grizzly bear, he's going to eat your hind end. Now, most people will tell you that bear hunts, a bear will not attack you. You can actually shoo him off. But you get to aggravating that bear, and you get to throwing stuff at it, and you make that bird mad enough, pretty soon he's going to attack you. Now this bird's been poked. And these left-wing Antifa, you bunch of snowflakes out there running that has never had anything hard happen to them in their life, who's never been in a position of just sheer fear, just terrifying fear, and you have to fight through it. I've been there. I'd say a lot of people that's watching this video have been there. You know what I'm talking about. When you're put into that position, I mean, there's only one thing to do. You've got to stop it. And by any means possible, you've got to stop that. Or you're going to be the one that's going to be dead. These snowflakes ain't never been into that position. They don't know what it's like. Now, folks, listen. I'm fed up with it as much as the next guy. And I'm not advocating violence by no means. You know, some of the things I put on here might seem a little antagonizing, but I'm the first one to tell you, you've got a right to defend yourself. You've got a right to defend your family. You've got a right to defend the person next to you. And it's coming. And when this bear wakes up, it's going to walk over everything in its path to get to whatever's causing this, and they're going to put an end to it. I don't want to see that happen. I'd say most of you all don't want to see it happen. I don't. I really don't. One thing, it'll destroy this country. Another thing, I mean, you're looking at a lot of people dying. I mean, just sitting at a red light and somebody come up, bust your window out, shoot you in the head, take your car. I mean, it's happening all over the place. You better be ready for it. Don't go out there and start it. You know, don't be the instigators of it. But they're pushing us too far, folks. And it's going to come to an end. And it's going to be a bad end. Now, I don't think any Democrats would watch any of my posts. But I'm going to appeal to them just the same as I am you all. Stop doing what you're doing. Stop getting out here causing this stuff. You ain't got a campus to run to that's going to give you little coloring books and crayons and say, oh, pity, pity, pity. You're going to be one of them laying in the road out here. Because, I mean, there's people out here a lot worse than I ever went through. They've lived through a lot worse than I've ever lived through. And that's bad stuff that I lived through. And there's a lot meaner people than I ever knowed. And I've been whooped by some good people. I've had my hind end kicked several times in my life. Don't think it can't happen, it will. Hey, you're going to get out here swinging a baton at somebody, and you're going to get a Rufio Pan man that's going to start pounding on your head and ain't going to quit. He's going to beat you into a coma, or he's going to leave you laying there for dead. And then you're going to get about 10,000 more like him behind him coming at you. And you're going to get people like me who's not able to fight that's going to shoot your hind end. But don't think I'll hesitate. I will not hesitate. If my life's in danger, my wife's life's in danger, I will drop you where you stand. I don't want to. I don't want to live with that the rest of my life. I hope you all quit. You bunch of Democrats out there, I hope you quit this. I'm asking you to. Just like a lot of other folks are doing right now. I'm practically begging you to stop. Quit taking that stick and poking the bear, boys, because it's going to come at you. If you think it won't, you ain't going to have these professors and the cops and anybody else to come protect you. It's something to think about, guys, because it's coming. I feel it now. I mean, every time I get out, I mean, you can just see the angst in people. I mean, they're just walking around on edge. We just went to Walmart, and I mean, people, you won't smile, won't look at you. You speak to them, and they'll just sort of grin a little bit and keep on going. And, you know, it's coming. You can feel it in the air when you get around people. You can just feel that tension in the air. Something's got to give. And I hope it's you all quitting. I really do. Because something will give.